Welcome to the bold analysis, ladies and gentlemen. Wambaji. I'm in the north coast of Kilifi. I arrived here on Wednesday evening with my team, but I was not feeling well, so I had to take a rest for for Thursday, yes, but then and of course Friday, where I was able to visit Magarini, where we'll be doing a mission. Let me start there, guys. These women you are seeing here are in their 80s, and the oldest is actually 97. They're going to be our mission for this month of August. We are going to support them, so I will be based here. Now, one of the things, as you can see, some houses there, they're staying in those shanties and they're not even complete. If you look some from there, you realize that they're just staying in some patches, some Makuti made patches. So they were being supported by an ex-military officer who is a very good subscriber of this channel. But that ex-military officer also was supporting them, but he had to stop because could not able to continue for many other factors. And so he reached out, and he's one of us that guided us to help support these elderly women. So the plan is we are going to complete some of those houses on Monday, probably Monday. Then on Wednesday, we will do a food distribution to around 15 of them, 15 elderly women. And on that end, we are reaching out to you. This will need a huge budget, probably up to 150. So we are doing a 100 bob challenge towards the Kilifi mission. I told you we will be targeting the elderly sana, that group, because they're the most vulnerable and the most neglected in the society. I was there on Friday, I spent better part of my time there on Friday, and I can tell you it's really demanding. So that's what we are doing, Kilifi Elderly Mission, 100 bob challenge. Your donation towards that will go towards supporting this and supporting these 15 elderly members of the society. That is our granny care. And that is why I'm in Kilifi. So if you're around this place, you can place a call, we can meet, can have coffee as we talk politics. And also, I believe that we can get some of our 2 or 3 subscribers so that we can be there. It's in Magarini, place known as Gongoni, if I'm not wrong. So thank you guys, and kindly support with what you can get. Straight to my analysis of the day. Lord Abraham Mutai, a Kenya Kwanza blogger, last night shared this tweet, and he said Uhuru Kenyatta's vehicles were earlier this evening involved in a nasty accident near Ololunga Junction in Narok. I have been following, and I made some calls to some 2 Jubilee officials and also a communication official close to of course, close to the president by that time towards the last general election. And one thing, I tried getting to Pauline. I've not yet gotten a communication from her. Did a text, but not yet gotten a communication from her. But you will realize that this is a very sensational post from Lord Abraham Mutai. And so I want us to debunk and look at this. Number one, I'm looking at these photos here, and these are 2 photos. When asked about this, Lord Abraham is saying that the convoy, the collision, the head-on collision, they were from different directions, but it was a head-on collision. If you look at just these 2, you can actually see that the directions they're coming from the same side. And if one was coming from behind, both of them ni mbele imeharibika, so they could not be coming from the same direction, and then they had that collision. So he is saying that it is a head-on collision. So what I'm wondering is, how a coincidence can it be that two vehicles belonging to former president coming from different directions getting involved in a head-on collision. I think it would be more real and more realistic if we say one car probably belongs to the former president and then another one belonging to a civilian or someone else. But the information about a head-on collision in two cars involved that are all attached to the former president, to me, is raising more questions about this. I have tried to do Google reverse image, and these photos, to me, they don't look for me real photos. Of course, they've concealed the number plates of the two cars, but if you look at, both are not really, they're not high end. Both of them are not high end. Now I'm looking at this and it looks even a bit more photoshopped, because the second observation I'm making about those photos is about how comes it is only one person, Lord Abraham Mutai, who witnessed that accident. Of course, that Lord Abraham Mutai works with Narok County government. So he's basically based in Narok. And that's why when he chose that it's around Narok, someone was trying to achieve some believability. And number two, you also have to remember that former President Uhuru Kenyatta also has some residence in Narok, in Kilgoris. So probably they chose Narok for some sense of believability. But I want to just find it more this way. Who is this person that was probably in that scene, but just decided to share that photo with the blogger without himself or herself sharing this? Because apart from that photo, apart from these photos that Lord Abraham Mutai has shared, no any other Kenyan has a photo of that accident. That is a bit, that is not believable. How can it be that an accident happens, so it's a state blogger sharing that accident, but there is no any other Kenyan involved in it? It raises some more speculation about the story of that accident. Now, one thing we understand is what has been confirmed, that Uhuru resides in US for some time, for the last 1 month, and his office are yet to issue a statement or a response, deny or give any feedback in response to that sensational news. That was sensational, and the number of police officers in that venue does not show a VIP involved in an accident. I don't want to believe that an accident involving the former president of the Republic of Kenya in the caliber of Uhuru Kenyatta can be something that can be a pedestrian news, and it cannot be hidden from the public, because in any case, the public need to know, is their former president safe? The safety, Uhuru Kenyatta is a property of Republic of Kenya as a former president and a commander-in-chief. So there is no any obligation that the state would have to hide if there is such an accident that is involved. And again, I also realize there is no media attention. If you look at the mainstream media that are supposed to cover that accident, no one is talking about that accident. No media house, no mainstream media has even issued a statement, leave alone even fact check. I was trying to ask Code for Africa, because they normally do fact checks, and I checked those fact check websites. Even in this country, none has done a fact check story on this accident. And so that drives me to this, because to me, there could be possibility that probably one car is even Uhuru Kenyatta's, maybe a distant family or a staff, because he has staff working from his home in Kilgoris. But it cannot be it is not more realistic that head-on collision and then those two cars belong to one person. You know, even if that will be the case, but why would the president travel by car from Eldoret to Nairobi whenever he's going? Because he moves by private chopper. He has a private chopper that he uses, and his public transport and his transport is well taken care of. Both domestic and foreign travel is well taken care of in the compensation plan for the former president. So if you ask me, I am seeing a state propaganda. I am not seeing some tangible news here. That photo looked photoshopped. That story is neither here nor there. And that qualifies it as a state propaganda. And that's why I'm wondering, why would they drag Uhuru Kenyatta's name in such a story? And why would you cook such a story and drag the name of President Uhuru Kenyatta? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. And that is what I want to look here. And kindly, I am reminding us, we are doing Kilifi Elderly Mission. If you remember what we did in Kano, now this is the continuation of that. And this time we are doing Kilifi, Magarini, Gongoni. So the people from the north coast, these areas, those elderly women are being supported by an ex-military officer. But that support is no longer, it stopped because of some reasons here and there. I could not be able, he actually fell sick. So that's what happened. He was sick. So he's been bedridden for some time. I'm also supposed to visit him. That is why we came now to support. Anaweza kuwajengea na haijaisha. Sasa tunafaa tumalize, alafu pia tutafute some food stuff tuwapatie. So that's what we will do here for the next 3 or 4 days. So kindly let's support so that we can also be a blessing to this society. Now, I'm seeing some few reasons why this story being moved. They are provoking, someone wants to provoke a response from Uhuru Kenyatta Sacco. Probably, one thing they would see, you know, there was a story that was released some time back. I think that was last week, and that was aired by Nation, that Uhuru was supposed to convene some Azimio Council meeting. But only Uhuru was never seen there again. He was not seen in the picture again. In fact, he didn't convene that meeting. Then that just went. Then later it came to be, I think that was Pauline Njoroge came and disclosed to the country that Uhuru is not even here. And that story was a mere propaganda. So there was no communication from Uhuru Kenyatta's channel. So one thing they would want to respond is Uhuru going to respond? That. And I think the silence could have, they would have taken that back seat. Of course, Kenyatta's family had seen that. Members of his family had seen that. But they could have taken that position to keep quiet because it's mere state propaganda. And in fact, one thing I know is media would drag Uhuru's name in it, even if it is way far. You know, let's say if Uhuru's nephew, is Uhuru's grandchild somewhere, or a friend to the son somewhere, or Uhuru's son or something, it has to take that angle. But I am seeing something that never happened, and the state bloggers are just dragging Uhuru's name in it. Number two is pushing Uhuru new car demand. And I just saw someone I saw this gentleman Alai sharing a very tired narrative. I think, yes, he's desperate for the new cars, so he wanted to write them off. So I question, I just want to ask, Uhuru is rich. It is not doubt Uhuru is one of the billionaires in this country. If Uhuru wants a new car, must he stage an accident to get a new car? Even if the compensation plan is for him to get from government. But even if he travels in the world and feels I need some specific car, because even government has some specifications, there is a limit. There is a car government may not buy for you. That is it. I think there is a limit of close to, 20 million. That will be the highest cost. I think it's around 20 million. So if Uhuru sees a car that is probably worth 50 million and he wants to buy it, must he go to government and stage an accident? I think I saw that from Malai and sometimes we just need to be human and be very objective on some matters, because it is not true that for Uhuru to buy a new car, he has to stage an accident so that it's written off. Even if you hate, even if a lie would have some hate against former president, but that is stooping too low. If you ask me, that is stooping too low. Number 3, I think someone is already want to create a picture of bad luck. Uhuru doesn't have luck because probably Uhuru is not supporting broad-based. Remember, they were running with the stories of, Uhuru Kenyatta was around the protest. So it's also about running it. But now, there is also a possibility that someone wanted to get some media attention, and media kept off that story. The same day they were running that story, there were some reshuffles. There were some cabinet appointments. Moses Kuria here, there, Eliud Owalo there. I'm going to analyze about that. There were some reshuffles that were made, and so they realized the country would be talking about that, and they tried to float that story, to maybe fabricate such a story so that they divert people's attention and keep people talking about that. Remember, Kenyans are normally very forgetful. So within a minute, they will talk about it, then they will forget and move on to the next thing. So I'm seeing that as one of the objectives of the move to table that story. Number 3, is someone lowering the dignity of the office of the former president? Because how will the former president travel by car? Would someone want to show that probably he was there and so maybe have reckless drivers or something? To me, that story doesn't hold. And the objective to me doesn't look more clear, because one thing, Uhuru is not involved. Uhuru is not in that car. That's what has been confirmed beyond any reasonable doubt that car is not. It could be someone in his staff, probably belonging to his staff. And an accident is an accident. By the way, I got involved in an accident. My car went down on 11th of July. I remember. So sometimes even if people joke around with accidents, I find that a bit absurd, especially from the learned fellows like Abraham Mutai. It's a bit absurd, and so the intention is not more clear, and to me, it does not serve any good purpose. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. That's my take. Kindly let's support the Kilifi Elderly Mission. On Monday, we'll be moving there. We have a target of 150. Probably 50,000 will help us do the repairs of those houses. Hizo shanties wanaishi zilianza kutengenezwa lakini hazijaisha. Unajua pia itajaribu ninge Kiswahili kidogo sababu niko coast. So zilianza kutengenezwa lakini hazijaisha. Ukiona hali zao haziko mzuri, alafu pia 100 labda itatusaidia to do the food and just to do food, and some also need mattresses. So that will be a bit of good on our end. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Let's meet in the next.